This video is on plyometric training in rugby athletes. Plyometrics are exercises that enable a muscle to reach maximum force output in as short a time as possible. This is in order to increase the speed strength ability known as power and improve rate of force development. Plyometrics are important for improving rugby performance and can improve aspects as shown in this video, such as sprint power, jump height and tackle strength. Players with a higher plyometric ability are also likely to be fitter and at a lesser risk of injury. This is due to a better running economy and energy efficiency, as plyometrics involves utilising stored elastic energy with every foot strike and not relying as much on the muscles. So with less stress on the muscles, there's less fatigue and less chance of injury. Plyometrics often involve jumping drills due to the quick explosive movements which lengthen and shorten the muscles. But it can be any other exercise that develops the stretch reflex of muscles to produce the explosive reaction. This is known as the stretch shortening cycle as shown here. This is where the muscles move from an initial eccentric action, followed by an isometric transitional period known as the amortization phase, immediately into an explosive concentric action. Plyometric training involves progressions. For most, it is wise to progress slowly and begin with low-level introductory exercises. This will teach the athlete the fundamentals where focus should be on sticking the landing rather than maximum speed, such as box jumps. Therefore, even though box jumps are less intense on the stretch shortening cycle and are not a continuous quick repetitive exercise, they are thought to be a great beginner exercise, especially for larger players, as they reduce the eccentric stress on the joints as the landing impact is reduced. However, the height of the box can be changed to increase difficulty. This should be done slowly and only be progressed once the athlete is proficient. Important coaching points for box jumps are to try and extend all three joints, the hip, knee and ankle, simultaneously in triple extension. You should also swing your arms for added momentum and ensure a minimum hold of the amortization phase to reduce energy dissipating through heat. When landing, initially put load through the balls of the feet, with the knees bent and slightly outwards to avoid them coming in on landing, and try and keep the shoulders in line with the knees. Here he should ensure to stand up fully, opening his hips after landing, and simply step down from the box. This exercise can be progressed by doing box hops using just the single leg, pyramiding box jumps, or lateral step-ups and jumps. It is important to modify the box height accordingly. The next exercise shown here is a depth jump. This involves a rapid deceleration stepping off the box and subsequent explosive movement, rebounding into a vertical jump. So what we want to achieve here is maximum height and minimal contact time on the floor. However, the athlete in this clip should avoid tucking his hips as much, as this is training the hip flexors more than the hip extensor muscles, which is the opposite of what depth jumping should address. The vertical jump should be sufficient enough to gain height without dramatically flexing the hips and knees. Therefore, he should have to jump harder, producing more force. As you can see here, this can be progressed to a long jump immediately after, or a lateral movement to the side, or even a 180-degree turn. Depth jumps can also be modified by using a higher box. However, this doesn't always benefit performance. You should only increase the height of the box if the athlete can maintain the speed and minimal ground contact time. If they get slower, then you aren't training what you're trying to. You could also include stepping off the box to then quickly jumping over hurdles. Barrier hops or jumps can simply be used by themselves or as a plyometric exercise, as shown in this clip. Here, the athlete needs to work on keeping a centre of gravity above the base of support to hold his balance, and try to rebound jump over the hurdles, as if bouncing on the landing with minimal contact time. Once again, the height of the hurdle should only be increased once the athlete is proficient. No more hurdles should be used than this in order to reduce fatigue. As you can see here, this can be done laterally as well as on the single leg. Plyometrics can be very demanding, and it is essential to have at least 48 to 72 hours rest between each plyometric session, so no more than 3 sessions a week. This is in order to allow muscles to repair themselves and to reduce the risk of overuse injuries from too much impact. Sets and reps vary depending on the type of exercise and where you are in your training, but is usually around 3 to 6 sets of 3 to 8 reps. However, plyometric volume is usually given in touch contacts per session, with approximately 75 to 150 touches per session, with the fewer touches required for beginners and also heavier athletes, as volume load includes body weight. Therefore, they may do less reps to equal the loads. It is essential to also have sufficient rest periods in order to allow full recovery and ensure that every rep is quick and explosive, maintaining the quality of the movement. This should follow around a 1 to 5 work to rest ratio. For example, if you're working for 30 seconds, then 2 to 3 minutes rest should be taken.